If you're over 50 and staying in Vietnam longer than your visa allows, you may have heard people casually say, "Oh, just do a border run." But let me tell you, there is nothing casual about getting up before sunrise, riding for hours to the Cambodia border, standing in long lines, watching people try to cut the line, and hoping every stamp in your passport is exactly where it needs to be. A Vietnam border run can be done. Many people do it every single day. But if you're 50, 60, 70, or older, the real question isn't just, can I do it? The better question is, how do I do this without exhausting myself, getting confused, or putting myself in a stressful situation I wasn't prepared for? That's what I want to talk to you about today. Today is border run day, and it's about 4:35 a.m., and I'm getting ready to go out to get on the van to get my new visa for my next 90-day stay here in Vietnam. So I will take you along the way to show you the process and how it's done, and we'll go from there. A border run is when you leave Vietnam, cross into another country, often Cambodia if you're in southern Vietnam, and then re-enter Vietnam with a new valid visa or visa exemption. I'm using an agency for this border run, and this is a one-day border run. So we leave early in the morning, take the 4-hour drive to get to the border station, and we take care of what needs to be done down there, leaving Vietnam, crossing into Cambodia, coming back to Vietnam, and then the return home, all in the same day. So I will take you along with me and show you the process, so you'll know exactly what to do for your border run. For many travelers, this is done because their Vietnam stay period is ending and they need to legally exit the country before they can return. Vietnam's official e-visa system says Vietnam e-visas can be valid for up to 90 days and may be single entry or multiple entry depending on what you apply for and receive. That part is important. A border run is not a magic reset button. It only works if your paperwork allows you to leave and come back properly. Before you go, you need to know whether your Vietnam visa is single entry or multiple entry, whether you need a new e-visa before returning, or whether the border crossing you plan to use accepts your visa type. For U.S. travelers, the U.S. State Department also reminds travelers that Vietnam requires passport validity of at least 6 months and at least one visa page for the entry stamp. So before you even think about transportation, snacks, or what time you'll be picked up, start with your passport and visa. When you're younger, maybe you can tolerate a long, uncomfortable travel day with very little planning. But after 50, most of us want more certainty. We want to know, where are the bathrooms? How long will I be standing? Will there be a place to sit? Is it safe? Do I need cash? What happens if something goes wrong? Will I understand what's happening at the immigration window? These are not silly questions. They're practical ones. Online, people are asking many of the same things. Do I need an agency? Can I do the same day border run? Do I need a Cambodia visa? Can I get a Vietnam e-visa while still inside Vietnam? How long does the process take? What happens if I do repeated border runs? These questions show up in Vietnam travel forums, expat groups, and border run discussions. Travelers are especially unsure about whether they should rely on a visa exemption, apply for a new e-visa, or use an agency to avoid mistakes. And honestly, those are the exact questions people over 50 should be asking before they go. Here's the simple version of how the process usually works. First, you arrange transportation to the border. Some people go by bus, some use a visa-run van service, and others use an agent or private driver. If you're 50 plus, I would strongly lean towards something organized, especially for your first time. Not because you can't do it alone, but because the day can be so long and confusing. Second, you leave early. Very early. In my experience, pickup was around 4:45 in the morning. That sounds extreme, but border days can get crowded, and leaving early gives you more breathing room. Third, you arrive at the Vietnam side of the border and wait to exit Vietnam. This is where you get your Vietnam exit stamp. You are not finished until the stamp is in your passport. Fourth, you cross into Cambodia. Depending on your arrangement, your Cambodia visa may already be handled, or you may need to get a visa on arrival or use an e-visa where accepted. Cambodia's official e-visa site exists for online applications, and Cambodia also has visa options through embassies or arrival procedures depending on nationality and point of entry. Fifth, you complete the Cambodia entry process. Then, if you are doing a same-day border run, you turn around and exit Cambodia. Sixth, you return to the Vietnam immigration side and re-enter Vietnam using your new valid Vietnam visa or visa exemption. The key point is this: you're not just stepping out and stepping back in. You are legally exiting one country, legally entering another, legally exiting that country, and legally re-entering Vietnam. That means 4 immigration moments, 4 opportunities for delay, 4 places where your paperwork needs to be right.
We're back in the van, on the way back. 5 hours. We spent more time in the lines waiting from one checkpoint to the next than we did driving here to the border. It's been a long, tiring time. So altogether, we did about 5 hours, and I got my new visa for another 90 days, and I'm on my way back home. Can't wait. What a long day. We finally made it in. This border run started at 4:45 this morning. It is now about 6:45 p.m. So it's been a very long day, but I was able to do my border run all in the same day. So to me, it was worth it. It was long, it was hot. There was some craziness along the way with different issues at the border, but we got it done. I got another 90-day stay, which I'm thankful for. And until next time, do it all over again, but I think I'm gonna do it a little differently next time. But I'm glad to be back, and that's how you do it.